Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters Net podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And joining me today are some special guests hailing from the West Coast. These are the guys from Boondock Messiah. We got Dondie on bass, Fritz, the lead man, and then we got Bob, the drummer. How y'all doing?
Good. Good morning. Afternoon.
It's actually afternoon, and actually it's getting close to dinner time out here, so we might be rushing it. All right. How you guys all doing today?
We're doing well.
Doing
Thank you.
very well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Not too bad. It's snowing out here, and I was talking with Fritz earlier. I had to go and run and get my car, so that's why I was initially worried, but it all worked out in the end, so it's all good.
Perfect.
Which city are you guys in? Or are you guys in Washington State? Where at?
Snohomish.
Yeah,
Area, Machias.
yeah.
Jazz?
Snohomish County, north of Seattle.
Yeah. This is actually Snohomish, though.
Oh, you're Snohomish.
Yeah, because Snohomish is just like a little town,
Yeah.
or whatever, very small. So they call it Snohomish, too.
All right, I'll take Bob's word for it.
Town.
Yeah. One Horse Town, yeah, like the song by Blackberry Smoke. It's an awesome tune, man.
Yeah, good choice. All right.
Yeah.
So first off, I want to welcome you guys to my podcast right here. The way this is going to work, I'm just going to ask you guys some questions, and we get to know you more both as the musicians, but also as the individual, too. So I got him right here. Y'all ready to roll?
Let's do
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right. So Fritz, I'll start with you. Talk about yourself a little bit. I guess, how did you become a musician?
I've been banging on keys and playing music since I was a kid. I've played in lots of garage bands. I've had the fortunate opportunity to hang out with a lot of guys that are way better than me, and have helped me out through the years. I just kept on playing, man. And so here I am. I've been writing music since, I don't know, probably I was in my 20s. So I've got probably 30 years of writing under my belt. I don't want to really, say my age, but anyway, I've been at it a long time, which, it goes to show if you don't give up and you really like something, eventually you become successful at doing it, right? It's like 10,000 hours to be good at anything in this world, but anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I guess, Bob, you've been playing on your sticks a while. You look eager.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to, we lost connection last time. I tried to tell you all that information, but basically started playing drums when I was 11, was in some rock and jazz bands in junior high and high school. Took lessons, became a studied drummer, and that didn't really work out. I saw that it wasn't going to happen, so I just did it as a hobby, and I've been in a few bands just for fun. Some of them we performed at cover bands, and then did some original stuff with other bands, and it was fun. It's always been fun, and that's I still kind of keep my sticks available, have my drums set up in my living room, and occasionally hit them. And Fritz wanted me to help him do some rhythms on his music.
All right, we'll get into band just a little bit too, but I guess, Dondie, you want to elaborate? Because it looks like you're stroking your bass and everything too. That's his baby, all right?
Yeah.
He's not hiding, is he?
My influences has been like Larry Graham, Stanley Clarke, Victor Wooten. I've been playing off and on for about 25, 30 years. Just off and on. Never got into music as, trying to get famous. It's always just been like a hobby because I've always had an interest of the bass and how it sounded. Larry Graham would do all these slaps and pop-in and stuff. I've always been fascinated by it, and so I've been with a few bands and stuff like that over the years, but like I said, it was never nothing really ever panned out, it was just more or less of a hobby. So like I said, I've been doing it about 25, 30 years. I met up with Fritz here about last year sometime, and like I said, I've been just helping him out with some bass work and things like that, and hopefully, we plan on doing some concerts, little touring and stuff like that in the future. But yeah, that's about the extent of my, and I'm not formally trained, I'm all self-taught, left-handed, upside down like Jimi Hendrix, you know.
He plays bass backwards.
Except on bass, you know.
Bass backwards.
So, you know, I'm just all self-trained, self-taught. So that's about the extent, you know, of my, you know, my little music repertoire, you know. So all self-taught, you know.
Yeah, and actually, just to fill in the audience, we actually were doing a take one earlier, but then unfortunately Bob broke the internet for some reason. So
He's a little long-winded, you know.
he was going on, and all of a sudden it just stopped. It'd be like, oh my God, he broke the internet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but one thing interesting though, you know.
Bob's fault.
One thing interesting, you know, is you know, I started out, you know, playing, you know, R&B and soul, you know, funk and things like that. But as time went by, I guess you could say I became open-minded, and I started playing metal and a lot of rock, you know. And I gotta tell you something, it's so much fun and so much energy, you know, especially with the metal, you know. It's just so much energy, you know, and I know if I feel it, I know the audience is feeling it, you know. It's just one of those feelings, man, it's like the Holy Ghost, you know. It's like you want to give it away, you know. So yeah. So
I was also going to say, I know when we were talking, I said I was also a drummer as well. So I'm self-taught as well. The story with mine is, it started off with a video game, you know, the band, or the video game Rock Band.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yes.
That's how it started. And eventually,
I from my granddaughter over here.
Really?
Actually,
that's interesting. That's interesting.
actually, when I got to Rock Band 3, it finally started throwing in at least some cymbals. You at least had a hi-hat, a ride, and at least one crash. But
Yeah.
it wasn't a full set, but my parents realized it wasn't a fad, so they just said, like, hey, you want to get your own drum set? Not an acoustic set. They weren't going to put up with that, so we got an electric set to kind of save us the trouble.
I started playing drums with a tea towel on a table, and would just had to learn my, you know, had to learn like that.
Got me.
Boy, you had a drum set.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised what I had to learn on growing up, you know, because, you know, we didn't
like rocks.
We didn't have a lot of money, you know, growing up. You know, my mother seemed, you know, she gets the best she can. Mom and dad was divorced. So what I would do is I would get a 2x4 and I would put rubber bands on it. And I would actually sit there and play like, you know, I'm in the rock band and things like that, you know. Because like I said, money was an issue first, but, you know, I did what, you know, I did what I had with what I had, you know. So eventually my mother, I don't know how she did it. One Christmas, there was a guitar underneath the Christmas tree, you know. And to this day, I'm quite sure my mother had to make some sacrifices to get that, you know, and I will never forget that, you know. But in the family, I'm the only one that ever took up a passion for music, you know. But the reason why I brought that up, you know, is
I'm glad you did, brother.
you know, but the reason I brought it up, you know, is just show you how my mother, she sacrificed. She's seen, you know, that I had a desire to play music, and just that sacrifice. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of money, and I still wonder to this day, what did she sacrifice for her son just so I could have that guitar? I still wonder to this day, you know, may she rest in peace. But that always brings tears to my eyes. It just makes me wonder, what did she sacrifice, you know?
You need a moment? I wasn't sure if you were getting ready to kind of burst there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Good woman. So,
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss.
That's okay. Hey, she had a good life, and I enjoyed every moment I had with her. So it's okay. It's fine.
All right, that's all good. So I guess let's go ahead and jump into the band a little bit. So I guess, Fritz, were you the mastermind who put it all together?
Yeah, this whole thing started probably back in 2014 with some other players. Unfortunately, the drummer had some personal issues, his wife passing being one of them. Anyway, so that whole thing kind of exploded or imploded, however you want to look at it. And I kind of kept it going. I wrote a song called Rather Be Lucky Than Good, which can be found on Spotify and all streaming platforms. And I brought in my neighbor, who they call him T-Bone Taylor. He did some horns on it. He really dug the song. And so I had recorded in my little shed that I had in the back of my house in Lake Stevens. And anyway, I recorded that song back then. I never did release it at that time or really finish the production. I just recorded it. And then later in 2022, all of that changed. And I sat down and I said, Jesus Christ, I've got all these frickin' songs. Why am I not doing something with this? And so, at that time we faked a bass. We faked drums off the keyboard to record that song, which turned out pretty good for what we had and how we put it all together. You know, I was actually last night listening to some of my old recordings and stuff, and holy shit, I've come a long frickin' way. You know what I mean? But anyway, in 10 years, you know. Not sure where I'm going with all of this. But anyway, yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. That's all I can say. I don't plan on stopping at all. We will only be getting stronger at this point and better. So, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We brought Bob in, and hopefully he's going to stick with us like freaking glue, so we can get our live show and start doing that. Right now, we're primarily a recording band, and we've been asked to do gigs and stuff like that, but trying to, you know, working with musicians like freaking herding cats, like we've been saying, you know, and so sometimes these cats are really hard to manage, and so personnel has been a problem, and hopefully we're going to resolve that issue and get ourselves where we can really get out there. Once we do that, the way I see things working is right now we have a worldwide following, and I'm thinking that we're going to be basically attack this from both ends. And once we build our local following more, I think we really have some big things coming for us. So anyway, that's what I got to say about that. Sorry about being so long-winded. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was just getting more of a
He's
kick out of
always
Dondie.
long-winded.
I am. You don't want to ask me a bunch of questions because I can sit here all
You're getting it from Bob now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
yeah.
infectious.
Nothing compared to me. Yeah. Me and him on a job site together. We've had people the whole job site laughing and rolling and stuff. And they would be mad because we'd go take like really long breaks and stuff.
And they already just had a break.
Yeah.
We need a little break in the action after Bob's little monologue, we should like to say. I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of a word there too. I was trying to get Shakespearean. That's the thing.
Prologue, monologue, whatever.
It's a little speech. We'll just keep it that way. Just be,
What's that?
let's not get too crazy. Let's just say Bob's little speech broke the internet earlier.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to break the
This is the guy that didn't want to do the interview, and now, you know, you put him on. He's like here for half an hour.
Oh, I just wanted to take whatever. That's the thing. You just kept saying like, "Hey, nobody's showing up." That's the thing. It's just gonna be me and the bass player.
I know. Yeah. It's like herding cats. You know.
Yeah.
The keyboard player thinks everybody's following him, so he doesn't want to do anything. You know. This guy. I mean, he's.
So I came down mainly. I wasn't sure about how the Skype. I've never done Skype. So I came down mainly to meet Dondie, and Fritz said we were going to work on a new song. So that's primarily why I came down. And Dondie and I were in the studio a little bit ago, and we were just kind of jamming a little bit. And he sounds great. I would love to play with Dondie, and I think. I hope he liked my chops.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. Likewise.
Yeah, right.
Likewise.
I used to
I
be
can't
able to
even do that. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It's a little Star Trek Spock right there.
Star Trek thing. There we go.
Right.
There.
How about that? I like that better.
So you say you're in Philadelphia, right?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh, actually.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pittsburgh.
And speaking of which, and sorry to rub it in your faces, suck it, Seattle. That's it.
Man.
I'm going to put my hat on backwards.
Actually, I feel the same way about us sometimes. you kind of suck.
And they were, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Hey, it was a great game, though. Although, ironically, I had DK Metcalf on my fantasy, but unfortunately, I had to bench him that game. So.
Yeah.
But you know what?
He's a great receiver. Yeah.
You know what the funny part was? I benched him for the one game because he wasn't really doing a whole lot for me. One time he actually does something. He's on the bench. He puts up 40 points. That's why he played the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, of all things. But I will say, there was the Winter Classic on, I think, that day as well. Or it was probably on the first. And they brought on Barracuda, or Hearts. They had played Barracuda on the stage.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah,
you know
suck
what?
up
I
field.
tell you what. Now, Seattle Seahawks may suck, but what about them dogs, though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Huskies.
What about the Huskies?
Yeah.
What about them Huskies? We going all the way. Got that game Monday?
Monday,
Yeah.
yeah. Are they based out of Seattle? I thought they were in a different spot of the state.
Oh,
Washington University. Are they based in Seattle, or are they?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Washington C. Yes.
Yeah. They're based in right in Seattle.
You're right,
Yeah,
Seattle.
my younger daughter's alumni.
They have a university district there, yeah. So I pass by it every day on my way down. I work down in Capitol Hill, which is not too far from the Jimi Hendrix
Shrine.
statue. Yeah, that's right. I could throw rocks at it if I wanted to, you know.
Well, you're not going to do that.
I wouldn't do that, of course. No, hell no. No, I go down and pay homage, man, every day. You know, I pray to that thing. What are you talking about? You know.
Right.
This has nothing to do with anything, but you say from Philadelphia. The reason why I asked you about that is because I often be seeing the articles and postings about a street in Philadelphia known as Kensington Avenue.
I gotta tell you, really, I mean, I haven't really been to Philly a whole lot, so.
And well, the reason why, and it's known, I mean, it's looked like to be, in other words, it's a really scary ass place.
Oh,
You know?
really?
Oh yeah. I mean, because it's like riddled with addicts and druggies and.
Bro, you know, have you been downtown Seattle lately?
Seattle, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I asked.
I've seen people die, you know, like
Yeah, it's
right on
bad.
the Mac Center, right across from the college, man, from fentanyl.
Very
you know,
sad.
and I've seen them OD right there on the steps, dude.
Anyway,
That's horrible.
I was just asking. That's not
a
near
real
there.
bummer. That's a real bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fritz is actually a pretty humorous guy, and but he's been working on his music for a long time. But he won't really take any direction. He's like the frickin' he's the boss of whatever he's doing. And we just try to help him out the best we can because he's not easy to work with.
If you point him in the right direction,
Yeah.
you point him in the right direction, you have to keep him focused.
Oh, and I'm going to do a disclaimer too. I didn't do any drums. In fact, I haven't played any physical drums on any of the songs that he has
Yes,
now.
you did.
I did a keyboard bass
Uncomplicated lady. you
Uncomplicated Lady, but that's it. And it was on a keyboard.
Oh,
You know, I
Jesus.
just played it on a keyboard. But because some of the songs, I mean, he has rhythm like a guitar player. He doesn't have any rhythm. You know, he needs that. he needs that, you know, beat metronome because he doesn't have an inner metronome at all. But I was listening to all of his songs on Cubase. And, you know, I was listening to it on Tidal also, but I like Cubase. I don't know, am I pronouncing it correctly?
I think it's like Cubase.
Cubase, right. I like Cubase. Anyway,
It's Cubas to you,
the
bro.
songs actually, for what he did them himself, he did them himself 100%, except with a little bit of help from, but basically it's his thing. And I was listening to them and they actually sound pretty good. I was listening to them, I have a pretty good system. And I was listening to them and they sound pretty good. My favorite actually is Murder of Crows. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, I like that. Murder Crows.
Yeah, Murder of Crows, I think, is his strongest song. But it needs to be redone.
What?
But
It It needs some Dondie bass rip in it.
Yes, it does.
It needs some Dondie stank on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
it needs to be really metronomed out.
See, some Dondie a la funk.
Yeah, that's my take anyway. And Dante agrees.
Everybody's a freaking critic around here, you know?
But it is, I have to give Fritz credit, because he did this himself.
Yeah.
No, it's only
This is
critical.
quite a story, yeah.
It's only critic is when we're bashing the song.
Yeah.
We're not bashing.
No, we're not bad.
I know, bro.
It's not critic. It's not being critical.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
It's not being
No, they
critical.
sound good.
Big shoulders
Yeah.
over here. It's okay. I got this.
I mean, it would be like, hey, if we're not criticizing you, that means we probably just don't really care about it too much. I mean, or it could be you could be your own worst critic too. So
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
We're here to help. We're trying to help.
Yeah. Here from the hall, here to help. I get it, bro.
We are here to help.
of course you could also charge it too for your advice as well and everything too. Side hustle.
No, it doesn't. No. Not Fritz. We're all good.
Hey, I got another drummer in California. You know, I run shit through him too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's pulling the hippie drummer out of California.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
guess
got a
speaking
good
of
buddy
which,
actually down in San Jose. I kind of grew up there when I was a kid, and so I've known this guy since I was very young. Like I said, I've been around, you know, musicians which are way better than me, and really happy that they brought me into the fold. You know what I mean? I fronted a band down in San Jose years ago, which really made me get the bug for being in the spotlight, in the limelight. I love the live show when it's put together. You know, I won't do it if it's not. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what's really kept me pressing on, because I know my songs are good. I know I can write more good songs. I know I got it in me, but fuck, man, excuse my language, trying to keep the personnel and trying to keep it all together is just a challenge sometimes. It really is, you know? So, anyway.
I think that's one of the biggest problems is when you get the personnel is, well, in this area anyway, is maintaining them, you know, because you get them and then they go out and then something comes along better, they will go, or they think it's better, they will leave you hanging and they will go with this other person. This happens so many times.
Yeah.
In other words, nobody seems to be, you know, no dedication, you know.
Right.
And especially with the younger generation, you know, they would say, well, you know, this band here, you know, they sound really good, and they would just not come to practice and go with the other band, you know. Opposed to when I work with older gentlemen and things like that, you don't have that happening, you know. Their dedication level, their commitment is there, you know what I'm saying, and
That's
they will
the
be
hard part.
there, you know.
That's
But
right.
with the younger, it's hard to find that level of commitment, find the right personnel, you know.
Mhm.
But when you do find it, you know, you hold on to it. But finding it is the hard part, you know. And like I said, with Fritz, you know, I have other projects going, you know. But I made it directly kitchen. I won't abandon you like that. You know, if something could come, I'm man enough to tell you that at a certain amount of time, I'm going to be leaving. I would just not come pick up my gear and not show up.
It's blood in and blood out, bro.
I think that's just like not just only unprofessional, you know, but you know, as a human being, it's not right. I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me, you know. But that's one of the biggest issues is getting personnel and the right personnel and getting them to stay, getting them to stick around, you know, because like as I said previously, they will see another band out there, or somebody give them an offer, and they'll take it instead of saying, you know what, I've committed myself to these guys here, you know, and you know, even though it might be some good opportunities there, but I believe if I commit with these guys, my word is my bond, and I'm gonna stay committed to it.
Oh yeah.
I've been committed with Fritz now for over a year now. I still got
Yes,
I still got these other projects going, but when you need me, I'm there. You know, say Don, you see this. So you know, I plan on sticking around with
And you're like glue, brother.
Yeah. But that's been the main thing around here is getting good personnel. And the ones that's really good, I mean, you know, they want compensation, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I mean,
We're gonna mention their names right now.
Yeah, and you know they're out there, but they want money to come and help you out, you know, and things like that. I didn't want any money from them, you know. I just said, sure, I'll come and help you, you know, because I could have been just like the rest of them. Well, every time I come out, it's going to cost you $75 or $100, you know.
Dondie's not talking about anybody here.
But that's
another guy.
But that's what a lot of musicians, they want compensation, you know.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, you know, I could ask for it. That's not my goal. That's not my goal. I'm in this because I like playing. Now, if just so happened that there is going to be some money that's going to be thrown my way, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm not going to turn it down.
We all need money, man.
But I'm not in this. My goal is not trying to monetize all of it. But if it just so happens comes with it, fine. But that's not my goal. I hope that makes sense.
I got to pay the bills, man. That's the thing. I need bills to pay.
That makes sense, you know. Oh, well, the bills are going to get paid regardless of this or not. You know, well, the bills have been getting paid because
we all got day jobs or some other.
This is not paying. This is not buying the house. And this is not paying the bills. I wish it was. You know, I wish it was. I enjoy doing it, but unfortunately, you know, secondary occupation have to kick in. You know. So yeah. Anyway, I'm done. So.
No, that was good. That's really good. It shows you're committed to the
project.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Well, we've become pretty good friends, I think, too, Dondie.
You know, but like I said, but the main thing, you know, I know what it's like trying to find people and try to keep them. You know, I know exactly what it's like. You know, and especially when you get something good going and you think you got your foothold and things like things are sounding good, and what happened? One person screws it up.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get that right person. I mean, there's other people that can fill in, but do you got the right person? Just because he can play does not necessarily mean that he's the right person. Just because he can play doesn't necessarily mean that he's bringing in other garbage with him and things like that. You know, maybe an alcoholic, he may be a drug addict or things like that, just because he can play. So, you know, there's a whole lot of things. One person can just screw the whole shit up.
I think, in a sense, what you're trying to say is it's the whole dynamic that really matters, you know.
Dynamics.
As a whole, you know.
And so, for the most part, I think, you know, I don't know, Fred, I just met, you know, this new drummer today. Seemed like a fantastic guy. I dig him, you know, I hope he sticks around. But, you know, dynamics is like, in my opinion, it's like about 90%, you know, because I have quit bands just because somebody was an asshole.
So when you come down, you know.
Oh, okay.
There's a room down back there.
All right, I've spoken up. Somebody help me out here.
You guys are all good. It's all good.
Is this the Dondie Wilkes show or what?
Yeah. Actually, you kind of jumped ahead a little bit too, because one of the questions was some of the challenges you guys faced too, and I think Dondie actually kind of elaborated on it a little bit. But I guess, do you guys kind of face any other challenges? Since we'll go ahead and jump right to it.
You know, the other challenge that I would like to point out is it seems like the more success you have, the more you put yourself out there. There's just so many people out there looking for that dollar and wanting to scam you for it, you know, especially on social media and stuff. And we experienced that already once where you know, there was this guy that was impersonating himself as somebody else in New York. And basically they were just after our personal information. So that's something that I would really, really put out there for other people who are in this. You really got to know who you're dealing with.
Because they're really going to make it sound really good. And they're going to try to throw things at you to where it makes it almost too good to turn down.
Oh, yeah. But
at the same time, too, when things are too good to turn down, you also got to look at it like this, too. Things are too good to be true. Chances are that it's not. And in this case, it was too good to be true. I kept telling Fritz, I am not going to do it. Fritz wanted to. At first, he said, no, this might be a good for us. I said, no.
I was all over it.
Because it sounded too good. It sounded too perfect. Every dot was dotted, every T was crossed. It was too perfect for something. It just did not jive right with me. The catalyst of it all.
It's a good thing we have you, Buck.
The catalyst of it, which really got me, was when this butthole wanted my social security number. Wait a minute.
How do you need that for?
Why do you need my social security number when you are just supposed to be just helping us promote music and things like that? What do you want my social security number for? Now, with that being said, I told Fritz, you can do it. You do it. Yeah. I am not going to do it. I am not going to give him none of my information. I said, you go ahead. I wish you good luck. And come to find out, guess who was right?
Dondie was the voice of reason that day.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I didn't get to be 60.
There was the other dude
I didn't get to be 66 years old.
Ken Bruce, you know?
I did not get to be 66 years old by being a fool. People does not get to be this old by making fucked up decisions. You know what I'm saying? And second thing, you cannot trust. You don't, especially on social media. You just can't trust anybody. If I don't know you from God, from Eve and Adam, and you just gonna just throw me all these perks and things like that. You know. No, nobody's never given me any. No, exactly. Nobody's never given anything for, you know. And this is what I was trying to tell this man here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he listened, because had he had given them that information that he wanted.
That part of me listening doesn't happen very often.
That person who he gave his number to probably would be living in his house right now.
You don't listen to anybody.
If they wanted his information. So I'm glad he listened to me, really, because it could have ended up being really bad. And at that point, well, all you have to do is look at you and say, I told you. I told your dumbass, don't do it.
Hey, no cursing around here.
Hey, what's your language, man? It's a family-friendly podcast, for fuck's sake.
I've known Fritz long enough to know you can tell him a lot of things, but it just doesn't.
I'm kind of like the bull in the china shop, you know what I mean? I'm that guy, I just go full freaking steam ahead, you know?
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, you know,
It's good thing you listen to.
But somebody has to be that voice of reasoning.
Yes, sir.
And you have to know when to listen and when to.
No, I learned my lesson, Dondie.
But so Brian,
lesson learned, brother.
I think your question was for what inner problems, right?
I was challenges in general, I guess, because I know Dondie, he was kind of elaborating on it in terms of like troubles within the band itself, kind of like people who have like their own issues and stuff like that. Some other people have brought up like marketing, like trying to market your music and everything too. Obviously, you also mentioned about the social media side of it too, being I was going to say devil's advocate, but I'm not sure if that's
the right
term, but
yeah, it's a double-edged sword. There's no doubt about it. And
sometimes, you know, and to avoid all that kind of, you know, discrepanary bullshit like that, the best thing is to do your own marketing. If you can, do as much of it as you can yourself. So that way you can eliminate all the BS as much as you can possibly do. This is what we're trying to do now. We're trying to do everything ourselves so we don't run into this type of stuff again, you know. And so put it like this: it was a learning curve, it was a learning experience, you know, for both of us, you know, and especially for him, you know. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, they are. Do your research, you know. Don't sign anything without don't sign nothing. You read it, don't read, and if you have a doubt, there's a reason why you having a doubt.
We have had like 2 or 3
hire a lawyer
interest in stuff like that.
You know, sometimes you don't even have to hire a lawyer. You know, sometimes you just use common sense. I mean, really, I'm serious. Sometimes, you know, you don't need a lawyer. Sometimes things you just rationalize things. You know, and like in this case, I didn't think that a lawyer was warranted. I think just listening and reading some of the literature that he sent. And just listen to what it had offered. There was no lawyer need. It was just, to me, it was straight up bullshit from the beginning. Yeah, from the beginning. But in some cases, some things that are written that I don't understand, Sure, a lawyer may be warranted and things like that when they get into all this long thing and legalese and stuff like that, and stuff. Of course, you're not going to sign and get lawyers in, but sometimes it just takes just listen, because we can decipher BS, from the truth. I most of us can anyway.
You can.
Most of us can.
Fritz, you work.
I'm glad I got you in my corner, man. That's all I got to say about that.
You worked in promoting and management.
I did, yeah.
Before I met you.
Yes, yeah, I did. I did dip my toe into promotion and stuff. I booked some beach tour. They were beach tour bands at the time, like Head East and was it Starship? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship. I booked those guys. I booked Molly Hatchet.
Oh, really?
There was others as well. So I did dip my. I don't know. There was a time when I was kind of in the thick of it in San Jose. When I was, and I ended up moving from there. I was kind of like a gypsy for about 7 years. I moved to Iowa. And so I basically wanted to bring what I had going on in San Jose into the Midwest, into Iowa, which was an interesting endeavor, just to say the least. But I actually learned a lot about the music business and how it all kind of works that way. And I learned the booking part of it from some guys in New York who were trying to basically sell me this idea. And then I figured out how to do it for myself and told them to kick rocks, But anyway, yeah. So, promotion. I've pretty much, as far as the band goes, I've been the sole promoter. It's been all me. I'm the one who is responsible for. I've been trying to get other people involved with that. And my sister, she's talked about putting some dough, into this.
Everybody start pointing at Fritz.
She's talked about.
Dondie, start pointing at Fritz. Start pointing at Fritz.
helping us support this thing, because we're talking now about starting on our own label and potentially publishing and that kind of stuff, that's what I want to do, because then I don't have to focus on all of that stuff and trying to get somebody else to do it for us. We can just do it ourselves, and I can hire get the right people there that I know have our back, So anyway.
Then you just replace us like.
No, I can replace nobody. No. My idea is I want to create this thing, and I'm going to bring everybody along that wants to be on the ride. That's for me. That's what it's about. I always want to go have fun doing what I love doing. And I want to bring everybody that wants to be a part of it along. So that's for me. That's what it's all about. One thing I've noticed is I've gotten a lot more traction by helping other people than just trying to help myself. A lot of people don't understand that, and sometimes it takes a bit to get out of yourself a little bit to really do that and to be able to do that. And on social media, I'll tell you, it goes a lot farther. If I just take random XYZ band that's not known nowhere and I pull them on and I throw them on my page and I start saying some stuff about them, they are so appreciative of that. And I've just created another fan by doing that. You know what I mean? Because they promote me relentlessly sometimes.
That's what it's called, networking.
And my band. And that's the other thing too, is I have to constantly tell myself, this is not me. It's not me, it's the band. It's two different personal people things. You know what I mean? I am not the band. The band is the band, and I'm Fritz.
Oh, I thought you were Boondock Messiah.
No, well,
He is Messiah.
Oh, he's probably not a Boondock Saint, that's for sure.
Yeah.
See, he says one thing and then he says
He's trying to be humble here. Come on. Bob, you gotta get off his case. He's trying to be humble here.
I see him now, coming on stage now. I can see him now. You go on stage, the stage is dark. all of a sudden, one light comes on, and right in the middle, standing the Messiah.
Oh my God! Please.
I can see it now. I can see it now. The
That's
Messiah.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
we start rocking
We're
it.
gonna put the light on you.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry
good,
about
Dondie.
that.
That's all good. I think when Fritz and Bob give their answers, I think you got to do it in the key that Donde's playing right now with his bass.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess let's go ahead and jump to the gear a little bit.
He's man of this thing. He has changed the sound. He's been on three recordings, right?
Yeah.
He's been on 3 recordings. Yeah, going to be on 4. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And definitely holding down that bottom end has been, a great asset, really, because I mean.
Well, no,
face it,
I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to, I drive an hour and a half to get here, and then,
Oh yeah.
and Fritz doesn't even have beer for me, I have to bring my own beer if I want a beer. But I'm mainly here
Come on.
to try to work with Dondie and see if we can really add something to Fritz's music to make it better. We're really trying to help Fritz.
Yeah.
Because I think he actually has some really good ideas with his music.
Yeah, just have to put a little bit of soul in it.
That's right, brother. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
And some traditional.
Either that or a cowbell, that's the thing.
That's the thing, right? The black girls, man, they can just sing, man.
And some traditional music, what do you say, how it's put together, the timing and how it's, because one thing Fritz is doing with his music is it's very untraditional. It's interesting. His music is interesting, but it's very untraditional. In my ear, anyway. And like I said, some of it's good, but I really
I do what I want.
I think he does what he wants. He's got all those cats running around in his head.
That's right.
He's got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And with that
We're
being
trying to help him,
said,
trying to ground him.
and with that being said, when I write a bass line, that just gives me more room,
Oh, for
and
sure.
it makes it. I can make it what I want.
It's all
to be.
you.
Right, and then I'll work with Dondie.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I want to be.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then what Dondie does, then I work with him, because I don't even care what Fritz is doing. I just want to
He
do
doesn't care
what
about
Dondie
too
is
much.
doing, because Dondie is doing what Fritz.
Right.
kind
We're the rhythm section. of
Yeah,
course.
right.
and we're just
Yeah.
gonna put it together to try to make it better.
Once you got the rhythm section, then you got it. I mean, that's it.
it. I think it's very important. Of course, as a drummer,
It is.
you know what I'm talking about, Brian.
You're the heartbeat of the whole thing. Yeah, the one that's
Yeah.
driving it all together. Driving it.
We're
all
an
together.
The drummer and the bass is the driving force behind it all.
Hell yeah.
There's a saying that a mediocre drummer in a good band makes the band mediocre, but a good drummer in a mediocre band makes them good. Have you heard that saying?
I think you just
Sounds like something Neil Peart would probably have said, to be honest.
What? That's a saying. I didn't make that up.
It sounds like something Neil Peart probably would have said, to be honest.
Oh, Neil Peart.
No, that did come from Neil
Maybe
Peart.
that might be something Neil Peart said. I don't know. I don't know
After
where.
all, he is the professor, so.
Yeah. Okay. That
Neil was
probably
a
is.
professor?
Neil Peart?
He was a professor?
No, he was the drummer for Rush.
I know.
He's over for us, but he earned a nickname, the professor.
though, is what he
He was a
said.
professor? Really? Really?
I don't know about legit. I think it was definitely a teacher, but they always gave him the nickname to the professor because he was that technical. He was that
yeah,
great.
He's that guy.
Oh, he was that. He was very.
No, I never knew he
technical.
was a teacher. I never knew he was a teacher. Really?
No, they were young when they.
Hey,
put
what about
Rush
the guitar
together.
player for Queen, man? That guy was an actual freaking rocket scientist, and he still is today. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, hey,
See,
you never know.
That's just amazing, I mean, that whole dynamic between, with Freddie Mercury and that specific guitar player, holy shit, man. Those guys were an unstoppable force, even though, initially what they were doing, a lot of people were going like, everybody else is doing this other stuff. over here, and now you're doing something completely different. No one's going to want to hear that. Well, bullshit, they sure proved them wrong, didn't they? You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, that's the beauty of not following the herd and being an original band and doing what you want to do. You know, following your gut and your inner soul to try and put that out there. That's what it's about right there is to give what you got, you know, draw from everybody, you know, and then take it and make it your own, you know. To me, that's what it's all about, you know.
A collective effort.
Yes.
Collectively.
Yeah.
Yes. Collectively, yeah.
I guess that's the band name. It's one collective soul, we should probably call it.
Hey, that's already a band name, bro. We can't use that.
Yes, collectively.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another issue, man. Really trying to come up with a good name, man. I mean, it's difficult, right? How do you do that? You know, that's
because how did you come up with Boondock Messiah?
I wish we could come up with a good name.
So you want to know where that comes from?
I was going to say Boondock Saint probably is one, but I guess
that's it, yeah. Well, that, you know, to be honest, I kind of felt like a man in the middle of nowhere with a message. Like the proverbial nowhere man, like the Beatles, you know, the Beatles song Nowhere Man? That's a Boondock Messiah right there, brother. You know? So they were talking about it a long time before it ever happened, you know? I don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of how it all... I did steal it directly from the Boondock Saints, I will say that. Because it kind of dawned on me, it was like, you know, okay, so you got the Boondock Saints, which was a great, you know, it's a great iconic movie, I thought. The first one, anyway. And then, you know, it's like, okay, so where's the Messiah? There's like all these saints, no Messiah. I said, well, that could be our band name right there. And so that's kind of how it happened, you know. And then, like I said, we did do one song. We recorded a cover. They got on the Internet Movie Database, and it's in a 17-minute like short movie by Blake Bard. And anyway, that was our claim to fame in that incarnation of the band, you know.
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Huh?
Who was the weed involved? Because Dondie and I...
No, you guys weren't part of that. This was before, back in 2014.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was like way
Right.
before. Yeah, you were still staying on your daddy's pants. No, I'm kidding. Oh,
man.
Sensational.
Yeah, we had to go that far.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm here to help.
Sorry, I know you are, Bob.
Wasn't it still?
So, you know, the thing
Let's
about
go to that
this,
drummer.
you know, me and Bob both come up through construction, right? He's a construction worker, and so am I. I've been a construction worker my whole life. So, knowing that, construction workers have pretty thick skin, you know? So, if you can't just say whatever the hell you want and be on a construction site, and, you know, a guy's gonna have a problem with that, yeah, you probably don't belong there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you show any underbelly, then they know where to get the sharp stick.
Oh yeah, you're gonna poke him.
Poking the bear.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, for sure.
That's the way it was anyway.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gotten better now than it
Which
used
is,
to
you know,
be.
our keyboard player, he's you know, kind of an alternative lifestyle kind of guy, and that guy was also a construction worker too. And I don't know how he's the toughest little son of a bitch that I ever met in my life. Besides this guy, I mean, this guy's a pretty tough guy.
But no
too.
alternative lifestyle, though.
Yeah, but he's not alternative lifestyle. Yeah. Sorry, brother. Yeah. Although you were making jokes about that stuff earlier.
Hey!
You know?
No, I'm retired.
That's a little secret now.
All right, okay.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Never mind.
And
I'm not even going to try, so that's all good. All right. Just to fill you guys in, we've talked for a good hour right now, but
yeah, that was a Michael Jackson joke.
Cool.
All right.
So did we get all that? You didn't ask us the one question about who that girl, the woman was.
What woman?
What woman?
She knows what I'm talking about. Huh?
I figure you're talking about you talking about Christina?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, the Band Together group. Yeah, I guess. How'd you guys join?
I'm sorry?
How'd you guys join the Band Together group? Are you guys on that Facebook group?
Oh, Band Together. Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about that, Christina.
Yeah.
Oh, holy moly! Because I looked up like some other person on the internet, you know. Yes, I've been. The band has been a member of Band Together for quite a while now, actually. And I've met some really good people there. One of them I'd like to give a shout out to would be Just Lizzie. She's become a very good friend of mine. She's promoted us. She's out of Gainesville, Florida. Great artist in her own right. She's always releasing collaboration videos and stuff. Great singer, good guitar player. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about her. Also, the Drunk and Lonely Band, I'd like to give a shout out to those guys. I love the song Drunk and Lonely, one of my favorite tunes. Just Alice, I like quite a bit. I think it's Alice is the one by Just Lizzie, which she's going by now. And those are the two. Jam Steak, I like those guys quite a bit. I always like to give those guys a hard time all the time about their band name and stuff, you know. So I never miss an opportunity to do that. I've been ribbing them for quite a while now. Yeah, so many of these people. I mean, I started with nothing, and if it wasn't for these bands, I never would have been able to obtain the reach that I have. It just wouldn't have happened, you know. And that's the truth. And I kind of started to touch on that a little bit earlier. You know, it's about collaboration and admiration is what this is about, really. You know, it's about elevating other people. It's not about who's better and slamming the other, you know what I mean, and that kind of stuff, which happens a lot, you know what I mean? People try to talk shit about this guy's better and that guy's better. It's not about that, man. It's not about that at all. And what I've noticed is that we have leaps and bounds by elevating other people and helping other people. That has just gone so far for us, you know. And I cannot thank the groups like Band Together and some of the other ones enough. You know, we recently were involved in the Yellow for Yanni thing that they did, and we've yet to be interviewed by Christina yet, though, by Vokes and Sticks. And they're a cover band. I'd love to have them do a cover, and I'll shout out all this. I'd love to have them do a cover of one of our songs. That would be awesome. You know what I mean? To me, that'd be great. I'd be so honored if they would do that. But anyway, maybe they could make it sound better than we do. You know, that'd be awesome. They're pretty good musicians, actually. And I look forward to watching a lot more of their stuff. You know. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then it's definitely great they put the whole group together too to bring us all together. So
yes.
Big shout out to them, by the way.
Oh man, she has just really put herself out there, tirelessly promoted the Band Together group and all the people that I think they've got like 7,000 followers or something like that now, which is a lot, you know.
7.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's growing. So yeah, I think I know the woman you were talking about earlier, and I think her name was Carol Dyson. I think that's how you pronounce the name.
Yeah.
It's because I actually put that in the questions because I'm getting her on my podcast pretty soon, actually. So I didn't think about it until I was looking at it here. I'm thinking, oh shoot, I said that as a question to him. So
yeah.
All right.
Oh, so you're getting Christina on there, or are you getting the Carol woman?
It was for Carol. I already got Christina and Greg on, and it's already on my YouTube channel and everything. So that's all good.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. I'd like to see that. Yeah.
You're welcome to. I did ask about the gear, I guess. So what kind of gear do you guys use? And if you want to elaborate on everything that you've been using up until this point, go ahead.
Well,
yeah.
this guy's like the
Let's
$1 million
see.
man. He's got access to everything. So.
Kind of gear I have. I have like 3 Fenders. I got 2 Music Man. I have 3 Ibanez basses. And I have 1 PV bass and a couple of Indescript basses laying around someplace. But as far as what I like to use as far as for gigging, I have a Mesa Boogie Powerhouse 1000 cabinet driven with the WD 800 Mesa Boogie head. So yeah, it kicks out quite a bit of power. But my favorite bass to use with that would be the bongo bass. Now. They're not your traditional looking guitars. If you've ever seen a bongo bass, they're kind of funky shaped. But in my opinion, one of the best sounding basses that you probably can get. That's just my opinion. Gonna run you a little bit, but you pay for what you get. So yeah, that's the kind of gear I'm running. Mesa Boogie with Music Man. Yeah. What are you?
Marshalls for me, JCM 2000. That's the go-to for me. So I have also a PV, what is that? PV Bandit amp. They call that a Mississippi Marshall. But for me, Marshall is be all end all. So
he's a Marshall guy. He got a stacked Marshall back there in the studio.
Yeah.
I use Gretsch drums and Zelgin cymbals, Avitas Zelgin cymbals, and Vic Firth SD2 drumsticks. I went to a fatter stick. I can't get the SD2s here anymore. I'm having a heck of a time. I had to go to this an SD9 driver. It's not as fat. They're really light, but they're fatter than and I like the SD2s better, but they're my favorite stick. Now, I don't know what sticks are you using, Brian?
I did used to roll with Vic Firth actually, but I recently switched over to Collision drumsticks, the 5BRs, or the sticks. I think they're a little bit longer than the ones you're using, but they actually really get the job done. I've actually got the hang of them too.
Cool. Yeah, the drumsticks are so important. In fact, there was a drummer at the drum store in Seattle, Musical Trader, and he recommended I try those SD2s. And after I tried them, I mean, because I never went back because they just felt so good.
That's good.
They're light too. They're really light.
And I guess, who would you guys consider has been your biggest influence in terms of each of the instruments? So I guess, Dondie, you go first, and then Fritz, and then Bob.
My biggest influence, and this was like when I was young. I was like about 11 years old, and I'll never forget it. The song came on the radio. It was called "Can You Handle It?" And I was hearing this bass line, and all this sliding and stuff like that, And it was Sly Stone's former bass player, Larry Graham. And after hearing that, and that bass and the way he was doing it, that was my influence, and that's when I knew that I wanted to play bass guitar. Also, really quickly, I had the pleasure to go out to see Larry Graham at Stanford University. And I think this was back in 1976 or 75 or something like that. And I knew after watching that, I was no shadow of a doubt. I knew one day I am going to learn how to do that. Probably not as fluently as he did, but I'm going to learn it. So Larry Graham was my stepping stone into getting into music. Listening to Larry Graham, that's been it. All the slap bass and but as time went by, there was a lot of guys that kind of really honed that slap skill. And from Larry Graham, my second favorite musician would be Louis Johnson, and he's another slap monster. I mean, even better than Flea. I mean, the guys just, he's deceased now, but Louis Johnson was one of the, nobody probably in my opinion did it better than him. If you ever get a chance, look up the brothers Johnson, Louis Johnson, and look up some of his slap work. It's amazing. But that was my start. That was my humble beginning, my venture down bass road.
Yep. All right. And Fritz and Bob?
So for me, I thought a lot about this, actually, about this question. And I've had a lot, over the years, a lot of different influences. But the first thing that I could really vividly remember was, when I was a GI, I was probably 18 years old, and I was a GI in Germany, and we used to smoke a lot of hash and drink a lot of tequila. And the first lick that I ever played was That Smell by Leonard Skinner. So I got to roll with those guys, man. You know what I mean? I like Rory Gallagher quite a bit as well, and also Fogerty for vocals and his songwriting ability. And Rory Gallagher too as well, actually. He's a hell of a performer. Slash actually followed him as well, Rory Gallagher. Well, everybody else was like listening to other stuff. Slash was all about Rory Gallagher. But anyway, so yeah, those three would have to be it for me. So
of course you would be drinking and smoking hash, that sort of thing on bass.
Oh yeah, love it. Well, it's all legal now, you know what I mean? So we can talk about this stuff,
Yeah, we got away with it back then. So all right.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Bob?
yeah, so I guess it would be, well, the Beatles were, they were coming, when I got into music, the Beatles were the band. So I would have to say Ringo Starr was one of my main influences to want to be a drummer. And so I got into it from there, but then of course Mitch Mitchell and Ginger Baker were great influences that I really liked. And then in jazz, I like Tony Williams, this is a great drummer, and of course Buddy Rich, but Buddy is so quick, and so you can watch him, and it's like you're going just, he's great, he was just great back then, Now one of my favorite drummers is I can't even shoot, I had it at the tip of Vinnie Colaiuta. Vinnie Colaiuta probably to me is one of the top drummers out there, and in fact I mentioned
good, yeah.
I mentioned
played with Jeff Beck, right?
He played with a lot of people.
Yeah,
he played with
Vinny's badass. Yeah.
Frank Zappa. In fact, he was on my friend Dan Higgins has him on one of the albums he did.
Vinny's badass.
A standard, voicing a standard. And that was Dan Higgins' saxophone clarinet player. And Vinnie Colaiuta is a drummer on that album with Dan. And he's great. I mean, Vinnie is just a great drummer.
Yeah, all good choices too. All right. So we are almost out of time, but let's breeze through these questions here a little bit here. But let's start off with COVID, and then we'll talk about lyrical content. Then we'll jump into some fun questions afterwards, okay? So let's start with COVID a little bit. So I guess, Dondie, how bad did COVID impact you, your family, and everybody else in general?
Not a bit. Other than my wife, was staying at home, during COVID. She had worked from home. We kind of like drove each other a little crazy. But other than that, COVID had no effect on me. Nobody that I knew directly or indirectly was affected. Nobody I know directly died. So that was good. Other than, the inconvenience of what the COVID era brought, things like that, the mask and all this happy crap. You can't go to clubs and things like that, all the social distancing. Other than all those inconveniences, but for me personally, it wasn't a big inconvenience for me a bit. Not a bit at all. Yeah.
That's very
What
good.
about you?
That's Fritz and Bob.
Yeah, for me, so I was doing construction. I'm working on a civic center, over in Marysville, actually, at the time, and I got COVID. Me and a guy were in the same room. We both got it. The whole job did, almost, you know.
I told you to stop kissing that man.
I know, right? Yeah, I've been trying to do that. You know, like I said, I've been trying to quit, you know, all damn life. But anyway, yeah, so we were, you know, so I ended up getting COVID then. I got all the boosters and stuff, went on to other jobs. People around me, one job I was on, like all the people were getting it, and I didn't get it, you know? And so it's like probably over half the crew actually.
You probably gave it to them.
Well, that's what they kept on saying. It was all my fault, you know? I'm like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. You guys are like wimps or something, you know? I don't know. You know, you guys need to man up around here. This is just you know. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, on a serious note, I really think, you know, our POS president that we had at the time, you know, that guy, he belittled it and really didn't take it seriously like he should have, which caused a lot of more problems than it could have caused.
Drink bleach.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, drink bleach. Hey, whatever works for you.
Introduce bleach into your system and you'll just knock it out.
Yeah.
But we don't talk.
It's not even a real thing, you know. What are we talking about over here? You know.
Let's not get political.
Yeah.
So with me, I was retired.
Political, all right.
I had already retired because I retired in the end of 2017. So it kind of put travel plans on hold, and then I was pretty much at home all the time with my wife.
You were scared to leave your house. Me and you were supposed to jam.
And
you were like, oh,
no,
I can't leave.
I'm not going anywhere. I took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And then during that time, I have the nicest wife. She found a little house in Anacortes with a water view, and we bought it, and then she told me to move the hell in it.
Yeah.
So I live there, and she lives in
Brian said
they're social distancing still.
Wow.
So we get along fine, you know.
Of course you're going to get along fine. 50 miles apart. Yeah, I'm joking.
No, we just spent 5 weeks down in Mexico together, so that was good. But but I didn't know, it didn't affect, other than that, it didn't affect me at all. I got the vaccinations and boosters. I take it very seriously. And I still, in fact, today, I still do social distancing to a certain degree. If a place is too crowded, when I go to see music, if it's too crowded, I just go. I go back. I just turn around and go back out the other door. You know. I don't. Yeah, seriously. I take it very seriously, but I try not to let it affect me at all.
Well, you know, I guess me and my wife didn't take it that serious, or we felt vulnerable to it, because right in the height of COVID, we decided, we looked at each other and said, you know what, I'm getting bored. I told her, I said, why don't you take a couple of weeks off? Let's drive out to California. And we shoot right in the height. And California at that point was a freaking hotbed, you know, COVID activity around there. And we took off anyway, you know, I mean, just goes to either I felt vulnerable or I don't know what I was thinking, but, you know, but we just got tired of being in the house. We just got sick of it. And so we just took a chance. We went to California, spent 2 weeks out there. And you know what? Me or neither my wife, neither one of us got COVID. Neither one of us, you know. And we put ourselves in some, I will admit it, we put ourselves in some very vulnerable situations, you know, with our masks and stuff like that. But for some reason, we didn't get sick. You know, that's another one of my COVID stories.
Well, that's probably the Jamaican genes, brother.
But you know, we just got so bored of being in the house. You know, we just got tired of it. You know, and so we decided, we got family out there. We was like, let's take this chance and go. You know? I mean, you only die once. You know, so.
Right.
I would say it's supposed to you only live once, that sort of thing. So I mean, either way, someone's gonna die. So.
Yeah.
But on a serious
Yeah.
note, it's good to see you all made it through. So it's all good to have you around here too. So.
Yeah.
So I think you guys might have touched on this a little bit too, but I guess what inspires your lyrical content? So I guess is that you, Fritz, who puts the lyrics together?
The good, the bad, and the ugly of life, man. You know, for me, it's just been all about that. A lot of it's been just the struggles, you know, of life. Complicated Lady was about like every girlfriend I ever had, you know, that song. You know, the Downbound Train song, that was about the realization that I needed to release my material, and a lot of my friends, man, that have passed, which is, you know, it's talking about the ghosts and all that kind of stuff. And the people that have come and gone throughout my life, that's kind of what that song was about. Murderer Crows, that song, the part of it came from when I lived in Tucson in Arizona for a while, and matter of fact, I have another one that's actually going to be inspired partially by that too. That these friends of mine, they used to sell their blood for beer money, you know, and yeah, pretty heavy, right? So actually, Murderer Crows is obviously it's a song about alcohol addiction specifically, which I fortunately don't have that issue. I have been around other people with major alcoholic problems. And so I kind of reached out of myself and put that into a song. Other addictions also, I've seen that and been involved in all that stuff. And so, a lot of the newer stuff, you know, I've been listening to this really cool band called The Dead South. Have you heard of those guys? You should check my band page out. I posted some stuff on there.
I think I saw like My Dying Shell or something like that too, but I think I'll have to check this group out.
Yeah, The Dead South, they're cool, man. They're actually from Canada, which kind of just blows me away because these guys look like they're from out of the backwoods more than we do. You know what I mean? Which is saying something, you know. And the way the music that they play is really geared towards, I mean, they seem like they're like from Virginia or something, you know what I mean? Anyway, great band. And mostly acoustic, you know, I really dig like the banjo and all that kind of stuff that these guys are doing. But anyway, I don't know if I answered your question or not. I know this is a long train. My train of thought is like leaving the station now. So hopefully I answered your question.
It happens when you talk about
all those cats running around in your head.
No, he did. I know it's based on like real life experiences, and that's normally what people do. They normally pull inspiration from like something they've experienced in their real life.
You can't play the blues if you ain't lived them. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. You know, it's really hard to write stuff unless you got something to say. You know.
As I was talking to him, I was talking to really quick about writing songs. I was telling him about some of the things that happened in my life. You know, give you a good example. Wow. Growing up, my father shot and killed my mother's brother. Shot him right dead in the heart. Yeah.
Wow.
And not only I witnessed it, my siblings witnessed that shit, you know. And like I said, this would cause my mother and father to get divorced. But, you know, other things that happened in my life, you know, being from the inner city, being shot, stabbed, you know, not I put myself in those positions, things just happened. So, I mean, I have so many things that happened in my life, so many things I want to say. But my thing is, I just want to, how can I wrap this up and put this in a song? Because really, I have so much to say. I have so much inside, but how do you get it out? How do you put this in context of a song, you know? And this is what I was talking to Fritz about, you know, that we're going to have to sit there.
We need to work on that.
We need to write something because
we really
believe it or not, I think it needs to be told, and it's a story that I want to tell. Because it's something that's been in me for a long time. Even though I had therapy for it, I think it would be better, more therapeutic for me if I just get it out and tell my story. It may not make sense to you, but to me, it makes a lot of sense. I have so much to say, but don't know how to say it. That's why I need to collaborate with him.
After that, I have to say one thing too. Some of my inspiration comes. I spent about a year or so in an insane asylum. So they tried to send me up for 10 years ago, and I spent some time there. And so some of the deeper, darker stuff, that's where it comes from, for sure. There's no doubt about that. There was a time when they locked me up in a room, gave me the guitar. I could go down there and wail on that son of a bitch loud as I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, yeah, that was some very deep and dark times for me. And so some of the stuff, I tend to put myself in that place again, and I come up with all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah.
Jeez, Louise, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys had to go through it.
Wow, I'm finding out, learning all kinds of stuff.
I told you about this, didn't I?
I guess you maybe. Well, I think maybe you did. But
He was too drunk to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
Much
so
that dark
many
beer,
stories. He has some great stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is good to see you guys, man.
They tell his story.
Yeah.
Man. I think that's a good.
Well, cool, Brian. Man, this is fun.
Yeah, and I wish we could continue on, but unfortunately, I have to go to my second job soon. So unfortunately, we're going to have to jump to the last question.
Thank you for having us.
No, wait. We got one more question, and then we'll be all good afterwards. So maybe at some point we'll do a part 2. But before we jump into, did you guys have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into the final question?
So is this going to be a half-hour show or hour? How are you going to edit this thing down? I mean, there's going to be.
I haven't figured that out yet.
I'm sure.
I think it's going to be a full hour. I think we got a full hour right here for some funny shit going on, that's for sure.
It's going to be a lot of filler.
Where can we watch it?
You can watch it, yeah. I'll let you know when it's ready, then you guys can
It's going to be on your YouTube channel, right?
I'll put it up as an unlisted video, then you'll be able to view it then. Just
Okay,
you guys. Okay.
He wants to see himself on TV.
I'm not able to see anything. Hey, there I am right there.
Hey, I was on that guy's show.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
But thank you for having us.
Yeah,
No worries.
this
So
is
here's
great.
the final question for you guys. Given what COVID has done, obviously it seems like you guys have been lucky getting through COVID and everything too. But for those who weren't so lucky, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in the post-COVID world?
Well, I know that COVID affected some of my musician friends in Southern California while it was going on. Now it's all opened up and all that, and they're working a lot. I guess my friend Bill Clinton, a keyboard player, he knew a lot of people that died of COVID. One story, they had just started opening up playing venues, and the band was in the hall, and the audience was outside, right? And they were doing it on a screen, but the band all ate together before the show, and one of the members of the band had COVID, gave it to everybody in the band, and then the guitar player's mother contracted it from him because he didn't know he had COVID at the time. She died of COVID. Yeah, that was a band called So Petty. They're a pretty big Petty band in Southern California right now. But he knew his neighbor died of COVID. He knew Bill knows a lot of people that contracted it and died. A lot of people in Southern California. But my message is because COVID is still out there.
It's real.
And it is real.
It's real.
Get vaccinated, boosted, and just, try to be aware of, try to stay a little social distancing and just be aware. I do it naturally now. I mean, I don't get any closer than this to anybody. Get away from me. Take it seriously. Take it very seriously. That's my message.
Okay. And Fritz or Dondie, whoever wants to go next?
Fritz.
You know, all I can say is, man, it really sucks that a disease like that could take so many people that it did. And for people heading into the future, I agree with Bob 100%, even though I'm joking around and making a lot of, smart-ass remarks about it. You really got to pay attention to it, make sure you get vaccinated, take care of yourself, and never give up hope, man. And and that's the best I can say.
I guess the last thing I can say about this is I think one of the most dangerous things about COVID, in my opinion, is you have a lot of naysayers. You have a lot of people that do not believe that this disease is real. You have a lot of people that refuse to get vaccinated and things like that, And now when that happens, that's telling me if you don't care about your life, your health, that's fine. But why don't you take a consideration of that man that's next to you, and that man who cares about his health, who has a family, who depends on him. Just because this person does not care about COVID, okay, that's fine. Well, stay your distance. But I think that even if you don't, want to get vaccinated, stay your distance. Practice that social distancing that he was just referring to and stuff like that. But I think that is one of the worst things right now is going on with it is the naysayers who don't want to do anything about it and say that that's not real. I think that is one of the biggest threats right now is those people. And I'm not gonna lump them up into a certain political category. Because they know who they are. I don't have to say this, but I think that is the biggest threat. And as we go into this season, with flu and stuff like that coming, COVID's still out there. And once again, it's those people that we're going to have to be aware of. But then again, how do you know? We don't know. We just don't know. And that is where we have to do our due diligence. May it be social distancing, may it be donning the mask, again, even though it's not mandated. But we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves so we can get up in the morning to go to work so we can take care of our families. So everything is cause and effect, So I think that's one of the biggest threats. But as far as COVID goes, that's one of my biggest fears of somebody contaminating somebody that I know and I love and them dying. But that's
good. That's very good.
I see. Yeah, and spoke like a bunch of true prodigies. I guess we should change up. Spoke like a bunch of true messiahs. So that's all. All right.
Yeah, just keep plenty of Lysol and stuff around,
All right. So I guess Dondie, Fritz, and Bob, we've reached the end of my podcast right here. Do you have any final words or any shout-outs you want to give, as well as how people can reach you on social media?
Just want to give a shout-out to all fellow musicians out there.
Good.
Peace.
All right. He's speaking of everybody else. Okay, so that's all good. We'll have to do part 2 at some point, too, because I missed a couple of questions here, but we kind of went off on different tangents.
I like that very much.
Yes, sir.
You seem like a very nice guy. I enjoy talking to you. I like your questions very much, man. You seem like a nice dude, man. I like to meet some motherfucker. I like to meet somebody like you in person. No, seriously, I can kick it around with somebody like you. You seem like a very decent human being. Not being that word, human being. You seem like a nice guy.
Thank you so much, Made. I would like to. It would be nice to jam at some point, but we're on 2 different sides of the states here, bud. So we'll have to make words somehow.
Come on a vacation out here in Seattle and come and have a few beers with us,
Hey, but don't come on vacation and leave. Don't come on vacation and leave on probation. And come back on a revocation.
Nice bitch and then you get wrecked, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Brian. That was really cool, man.
No worries. I guess you guys on Facebook and everything too?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure people can see her.
All social media platforms.
Dondie Wilkes on Facebook. You want to personally? Dondie Wilkes. DONDIEWILKS on Facebook. Bass extraordinaire. Have bass. distance.
All right. Sounds
Thank
good,
you, guys.
No worries. So everyone, my guest today was the Boondock Messiah, and we got Dondie on bass, Fritz the vocal and keys, and Bob the drummer. So not Bob the builder though. That's a funny thing too. All right. So you guys stay safe. Rock on.
Rock
Stay
on,
tuned,
bro.
y'all.
All right. Boondock, rock on.
There we go. Right.
Thank you.